Hi booktube, so sorry if I seem a little tired, but if I don't do this video now, it's not going to get done, and that kind of defeats the purpose of Vlogmas, of vlogging on the day. So, if I am correct, this is Vlogmas Day 13. So we're almost there. I am here to do a monthly recommendations video for you guys. So, this month's recommendations is actually a mashup or a recap of the topics of this year. So I may be going over some books that I have mentioned before, maybe books that I haven't mentioned. Maybe I would tell you that there's certain subjects that I have not done yet. So let's see how many of the topics I can remember. First off, I know there was, and I believe this was January, the first topic was best first books in a series. So, if I can, I will link my monthly recommendations playlist down below. But just as a little recap, I will name some of the books that I thought were great first books. Some of these I have not read the entire series, but still I enjoyed the first book. So those would be things like Cinder, Unwind, The Hunger Games, Pretty Little Liars, Harry Potter, which is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. God, what else? That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. A Great and Terrible Beauty, which I have just read this year. Another one is graphic novels or any kind of mixed media. And I haven't really read as many manga or graphic novels as I would like to. I finished the first volume of Fairy Tale, which I really enjoyed. I think I heard somewhere that the series kind of goes downhill, which I'm disappointed by because it's a series that I think I can really get interested in. The other two were a comic, or if you want to call them graphic novel type books of The Simpsons, which was, I think, the Big Bratty Book of Bart, if I remember the title correctly. And the other one, I cannot remember the title, but it was from Adventure Time. Another topic of this year was mental health recommendations. So I have not read a lot of books surrounding mental health. However, I did read Turtles All the Way Down, which was the last book that John Green had put out, and there's a lot of mixed feelings on it. Like, I really liked it when I first read it, but looking back at some of the reviews, I can see watching some of the reviews and looking back, I can see why some people had issues with it, because other than her anxiety, the character doesn't seem fully fleshed out, and I would have liked her to have a little bit more personality. But I do like the fact that something like anxiety is brought up into a book, especially a young adult book. And you know what? Even though there's nothing diagnosed in this story, and there's no like therapy or names for any type of mental health, because of the things these characters go through, I think I'm going to throw Mockingjay on there. There's a lot of talk about trust and PTSD and all that other stuff, so I really think that shows a lot of what situations can do to your mental health. Some underrated books. I mean, that really depends. Because there are books that are talked about, but there are books that are more talked about. An underrated book, and this isn't really surprising because YA does dominate booktube, but The Elegance of a Hedgehog, I'll save this what I'm going to say for one of the next parts, but definitely it is stolen from a dupe dual perspective of an older lady and a younger, almost teenage girl. So you get two perspectives, but it's more adult contemporary, really. Um, Stargirl. I know people have heard of it, but I don't think it's as big as some other books are. Again, Unwind didn't take off as big of a dystopian as some of the other books, but it is really good. Battle Royale. And this may be because, like The Elegance of a Hedgehog, it is a foreign book. So while people battle it out with the Hunger Games and everything, I don't think it gets enough attention, at least in the States, that it deserves. But yeah, I think a lot of it's because, like I said, YA really dominates. I read Matilda this year, and I know people know about it and they know it's a book and everything, but for some reason I have a feeling a lot of people have probably more seen the movie than they've read the book, but I could be wrong. Another one was books you read because of BookTube. And I read The Elegance of a Hedgehog because I watched a booktuber. I believe she changed her name, but her name was, if I remember correctly, Words of a Reader. That's where I first heard about it from. I heard about Cinder um, through BookTube. What else? BookTube. Oh, um, A Monster Calls. Not exactly BookTube, but before I discovered BookTube, from book reviewers, I discovered one of my favorites, which is Zombies vs. Unicorns. Jessica's Guide to Dating on the Dark Side. Not exactly from a booktuber, but a person who occasionally talks about books. Oh, God, what else? I pretty much heard of Battle Royale from BookTube in so many ways, or book reviewers. Uh, there was topics such as marathon-worthy books and books worth a reread. I guess I would kind of put these together because some of them are long, and again, all the books that I've talked about so far, I think are worth rereading. Uh, Series or long books that I've talked about on here, definitely, obviously worth marathoning. Witchy reads, I have read A Great and Terrible Beauty, which I guess that can count as a witchy read. I don't know if I like it as much as some. Uh, you know what? Going back to the underrated thing, I don't think people talk about Libra Bray enough. Like, I know people know of her work, but it seems like some people criticize more YA than they ever talk about actually liking her books. Like, I know there are some people that like her work, but I feel more people talk about how they don't like John Green or Rainbow Rowell more than they ever mention Libra Bray. And I think I might like her comedy a little bit more than her serious work, but A Great and Terrible Beauty was a great read. It really was. There was characters I relate to, which I had just done that video. Actually, I did a two-part video to that one, so you should go check it out, because, yeah, I spent some time on that one. Duologies. I have not read any duologies, sad to say. So if you have any recommendations for me, let me know. But anyways, this video is getting long enough, and I think I covered all the topics that I have done this year. And if not, like I said, I will leave my playlist down below. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye, guys.